Nearly 1,800 people evacuated before a demining operation in the middle of Paris. An aviation bomb from the Second World War discovered on February 4 at a construction site was destroyed on Sunday. And as we do every Monday, we talk culture, a brand new segment presented by Claudia and Sono to come to you in the second part of the morning call. Stay with us. Once again, we'd like to welcome you to today's edition of the Morning Call. Nigerians have been urged to stay calm following a shock postponement of Saturday's presidential elections. Nigeria's Independent Electoral Commission announced on Saturday morning the polls would be delayed due to logistical reasons. The vote will now take place on Saturday, February the 23rd. The news to delay the polls sent shockwaves across the country, and even the presidential candidates have condemned the last-minute decision. President Muhammadu Buhari and his main rival Atiku Abubakar have both condemned the move, both accusing each other of trying to manipulate the vote. The electoral body has, however, insisted the delay had nothing to do with political influence. The Nigerian voters, on the other hand, continue to express their anger and disappointment.
Church services in Nigeria on Sunday as the faithful prayed for the future of Africa's largest democracy. It follows postponement of the presidential elections hours before polls were scheduled to reopen on Saturday. In Abuja, Nigerians are unfazed.
We wake up on Saturday and they postpone it again. We will tell our people, get ready for any other day they give to us. If they keep postponing and they keep cancelling, we will keep getting ready until the day we vote. The church is ready to vote.
Yourself, do what you have to do, but vote.
Some concurred that, although they feel down, Nigerians are resilient.
People demoralized, absolutely, definitely, but we're also a resilient people, so whatever it takes, they've shifted it to next week, we're ready to go back to vote. They shifted again, we're ready, but we will do what is expected of us.
The election is set to be held on February the 23rd. In 2011 and 2015, the country's presidential elections were also delayed over logistics and security issues. Incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari faces a tight context against ex-Vice President Atiku Abubakar.
And the presidential race promises to be very close between President Muhammadu Buhari and his main rival Atiku Abubakar. It is difficult for the head of state in power since 2015 to make a change after the mixed first-term review. The local currency, the naira, collapsed, resulting in a severe shortage of foreign currency during the first year of his mandate. And then unemployment doubled in an already highly unequal country, where two-thirds of the population lives below the poverty line. In front of him, another tenure of the Nigerian political scene, himself from the north of the country, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of the main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party PDP, is trying to recover the votes of Muhammadu Buhari, and these two favorites of the election have one more week to convince the nation.
Africanews journalist Jerry Bambe is in Nigeria, and he was able to speak to the author of How to Win Elections in Nigeria, who is also the CEO of Red for Africa Media, Adebola Williams. He asked him the implications of delaying these elections. This is how it went.
Government is almost pretty much shut down to an extent because people are not anticipating. Monies are having to be spent on per diems, observers have to be kept in hotels. Several logistics that were planned for would have to be deployed on the part of the candidates, especially the opposition candidates, who feel like we've spent all our money and we've gotten to the final lap, and now they have to then begin to look for resources for another 1 week of campaign to sustain momentum. On the part of the people, they feel disenfranchised. People are upset, people are pained, many have traveled back home, many have gone 24 hours, 48 hours over land, over air, over the waters. But for many of the new guys who are in the play for the ticket offices, they all feel like this is a ploy to get them to run out of money, and not be able to campaign and engage their voters for this last week. And finally, to then get the voters to be apathetic towards coming out in the next week.
Jerry Bambi asked Adebola Williams about the relevance of the Electoral Commission's argument on postponing the election and the need to be fully prepared to ensure a reliable election. Let's listen to his response.
The journey to freedom, the journey to a better nation would not come easily. You've got to see it as another point in your life where you have to scale through to ensure that you express your civic duty such that you would never have to experience it again. Why? In 2011, we were already out about to vote and the elections were postponed. In 2015, the same thing. We are going to the polls in a few days, was postponed. Today, it's happened again. A couple of hours to the election. What is common amongst all of this is that you've had a system between, the two big parties, for example, and you've had almost the same people moving back and forth. So maybe perhaps it's a message for you to think twice and take a minute to say, do I really want to continue in that same space? Or do I want to look for a candidate who meets the aspirations of my life, of what I want to be, of order, of excellence, of competence, capacity, character? Who meets that 21st century orderliness? That means that when we say our word is our bond, it's a reflection moment for Nigerians to begin to probably look in a totally fresh direction, more towards youth. It's an opportunity for that.
And Nigeria has a not too young to run law. Many young Nigerians are taking advantage of this and are now running for office. Jerry Bambi asked Adebola Williams if this could signal a generational shift in Nigerian politics.
Talk about the good old days. And I ask myself, how old were the leaders in the good old days? We were in their 30s. How old were our parents? We were also in their 20s and 30s. There is a fundamental understanding in peer-to-peer, grouping, whereby the guys who are in a certain age bracket can understand the needs of the time. Perhaps maybe it's a message. And I do not say, in all sense of modesty, that the older guys cannot understand it. I do not say so. We've seen Lee Kuan Yew, for example. We've seen Mandela in his own style. But it's definitely a case for that time where maybe perhaps a little shift, where you have, people who understand the tools of the time, who don't need to be told, who don't need an advisory team to necessarily tell them we are in the age of social media, and artificial intelligence and technology. It is just the norm for them. And so that's what the not young to run build on. But my warning will be to please let us have credible, capable young people who are prepared to run. Not too young to run and then prepared to run.